Welcome, everyone. Today, we are talking about something I see all the time in my work with electrical companies. They're profitable on paper, but constantly stressed about cash. In the next 5 to 10 minutes, I'll show you why that happens and what you can start doing to fix it. So, why this topic matters? Let's start here. Most owners think profit equals cash, but it doesn't. What's happening behind the scene with cash flow is a completely different story. And if you don't track it correctly, it's easy to lose control fast. Let me share something I see all the time with electrical companies I work with. On paper, they're killing it, they're booking projects, keeping crews busy, and the P&L says they made $500,000 in profit. But behind the scenes, they're stressed. Payroll is a last-minute scramble, vendors are calling, asking when they'll get paid, and growth, it's stalled because they don't have the cash to fund the next big job. This is what I call profit cash disconnect. And it's not your fault. Most business owners assume if you're profitable, you should be fine. But cash flow is a different game entirely. You pay for labor upfront. You buy materials before you're paid. And clients, they don't always pay on time. So even with the great sales, cash gets tight, and you're left wondering how you're working so hard with so little to show for it in the bank. Here's the truth. Profit looks backward and cash looks forward. You can't just rely on your account's year-end report to run your business day to day. The first step to gaining control isn't a fancy new tool. It's understanding this disconnect. Once you see it, you can fix it. And that's when your business shifts from feeling chaotic to feeling in control. So you're profitable. Where is the cash? Sounds familiar? You're booking jobs, revenue is flowing in, and your P&L looks great, but you're still stressed. There's no cash in the account, and you're wondering where did it go? Let's talk about one of the most frustrating experiences for electrical business owners. You're invoicing like crazy. Jobs are closing, your account tells you the books look great, you made a profit this quarter, but you're looking at your bank account and it's not adding up. You are still hesitating to cut payroll checks. You're pushing out supplier payments and you are holding off buying on materials for the next job because you are not sure the funds will clear. You are thinking, if I'm doing this well on paper, why does it still like I'm broke? Here's the answer. You are running on profit reports, but not managing your cash. Profit is an accounting concept. It includes things like unpaid invoices, depreciation, and not cash items. But cash is what you actually have available to operate right now. When those two aren't aligned, when you're profitable but low on cash, that's where the stress lives. And it's more common than you think. The fix isn't just make more money. The fix is building a cash flow system that shows you what's real, not just what's on paper. So, what's the root case? Let's review cash flow trap. Let me break it down. So, what's really causing the cash squeeze? Here's the truth. You are not just running electrical projects. You are accidentally operating like a bank. Let me explain. Most electrical jobs are progress billed, meaning you complete work, send the invoice, and then wait. But meanwhile, you are already bought materials. You've already paid your crew, and you are weeks and sometimes months ahead of spending before any money comes in. That's trap number one, billing delays. Now add a big upfront cost, materials, permits, equipment rentals, all paid out of your pocket, and collections, slow payments. Client approval delays or missing paperwork, it all drags out the timeline to get paid. Then there is a poor management tracking. If you are not watching the actual cost per project in real time, you could be leaking thousands without realizing it. And don't forget receivables and inventory. You own money, you're sitting on material, but neither of those things pay bills. They just set up cash. So here's what's happening. You are advancing money to your clients before you even get paid. That's not sustainable. It's not scalable, and it's not how a profitable company should operate. Fixing this starts by treating your cash flow like a job site. You need structure, accountability, and visibility. And that's what we'll cover next. So let me share a real story from my practice. Just one small process mistake ended up costing company over $1 million in cash. So here's the story. One of my clients, a successful electrical company just like yours, was working on a major project for a large oil and gas client. Big contract, big expectations. Everything was moving fast. Labor on site, materials flowing in, deadlines pulling up. But then, out of nowhere, their supplier put a hard stop on deliveries. The account was frozen. The supplier said that they hadn't been paid in months. Imagine this moment. You are standing in the middle of $1 million job, crews waiting, and you can't get the materials you need. Not because you're broke, but because your system failed you. We started digging in, and what we found was heartbreaking. Their invoices were not even in the system. Stacks of AP bills were just sitting on someone's desk, never entered, never processed, never paid. And here's the kicker. Because those invoices were not recorded, they were never billed to the customer. And month passed, and when the company finally tried to submit everything, the client refused to pay. That invoice was too late, and it was too much of delay. The total loss just under $600,000. And not because they didn't do the work, not because the project failed, but because the internal AP system was disorganized and neglected. I can't tell you how many times I've seen this. Fast-growing companies getting tripped up, not by market, but the back office chaos. Postscriptum. We reviewed and restructured AP processes and implemented PO process, so it never happened again. So, 3 key shifts. So how do we prevent a $600,000 disaster like this and gain control of your cash? I always say it's not about working harder or selling more. It's about building financial habits that actually protect your cash flow. Here are 3 key shifts that can change everything for your business. Number 1, track and plan cash flow weekly or even daily, not monthly. Most electrical companies only book at cash flow once a month, or worse, just look at their bank account. But by then, it's too late. What you need is a weekly or daily cash flow rhythm. Know what's coming in, what's going out, and what's due. I help my clients to build 13 weeks rolling forecasts that give total visibility so they can sleep at night. Number 2, use job costing to spot margin leaks early. That's one huge. You could be losing thousands on every project and not even realize it. Materials overaged, untracked change orders, misallocated labor hours. They all eat your profit silently. With job costing, you compare estimated versus actual cost in real time, not month later when it's too late to fix. That 20,000 margin leak, it'll catch up before you'll catch it up before it turns into 200,000 crisis. Number 3, separate profit from standable cash. Just because your P&L says you're profitable doesn't mean you have cash to spend. That's why I often recommend a method like a profit first, where you physically separate your cash into different buckets like operating expenses, taxes, owner pay, and profit. So you're not relying on one messy account to do it all. It creates discipline and protects your business from surprises, expenses, and slow collections. Below, I provided 2 tables with suggested cash allocation based on revenue level. Please note, if a lot of labor is subcontracted, you may create a dedicated bucket for clear visibility and adjust the percentage based on actuals. The goal is clarity and discipline, not rigidity. As the company grows, OPEX should ideally decrease as a percentage, improving margins. So if this resonated with you, I wrote an ebook, 12 Financial Mistakes That Hold Electrical Companies Back, where you can find more examples of real life cases. Just shoot me a DM or visit the link to grab your copy. And if you want a 30 minutes cash flow audit, let's chat. I'd love to help you tighten your financial process and finally feel in control. And thank you so much, and see you next week.